Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Kangaroothless and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This is going to be a Terran vs Protoss on the map Xel'Naga Caverns. This replay was sent to me by our red Terran. His name is KoKoRo. He'll be spawning in the top right position. KoKoRo is a high Masters Terran player. He, I believe he's in a clan or something like that as well. He's just really damn good. Also a regular forum user on StarCraftCentral.net. And his opponent will be NMxCrazySklz. So, yeah, I guess that means KrazySklz. He'll be the blue Protoss opponent. And right off the bat, I do want to go ahead and say, guys, sorry for not getting out enough replays recently. I know I went really crazy with the Oxa replays, but right now I've just, well, first off, I took a day off since I got about 4 or 5 games casted and uploaded in 2 days, which without a solid state drive is really tough. And speaking of a solid state drive, since I don't have one, I've realized that recently I'm not able to get up more games because I have just one of those good old-fashioned, Western Digital hard drives. And it's 1 terabyte. It's a really nice hard drive, but when you're rendering and uploading all these videos and just saving them onto your hard drive system, I mean, it just takes up so much space. So when I was getting lag in some of these earlier casts and replays, it's because I didn't have enough room. I didn't have... My computer was just being taxed, and it was really my hard drive that was taking the brunt of the damage. So, basically my situation is when I can save up enough money to afford one, I will either get another hard drive. I'll probably get another terabyte of disk space that will be about $100, or I will save up and get a solid state drive that is going to be run me about $200 at the minimum for getting a decent one. Now, I know there's an argument, why not just get a hard drive for this? A solid state drive is actually better if you're going to be uploading and rendering video, because you can actually do that process on the solid state drive. It just makes it so much faster, and your system just does so much better. So I would go and upload that, or I would go and purchase that solid state drive just to make the rendering of these videos even better. I mean, who knows if the solid state drive might actually allow me to get these into 1080p, and which would be pretty nice. And to be honest, on YouTube, it doesn't really matter, quite honestly, because you will notice a little bit of difference in 1080p. But really, just the way that YouTube works, 720 is actually really good. There's not a considerable difference there. But anyways, enough about all of that kind of stuff. Looks like Protoss is currently boosting out his first Stalker and his Cybernetics core research. KoKoRo is going to throw down a bunker. Now, here's something about this build that might throw off a couple of players. First of all, why did KoKoRo throw a barracks over in this position? Well, that's because a lot of Protosses, especially Protosses that I will call mean names, like to just do a proxy 2 racks right here, and they're like, oh, you didn't scout it, it's not IMBA or whatever, it's not stupid, it's not cheese. It is, it's totally cheese. You put a pylon right here, and you put 2 gateways, and you spam nothing but zealots. That's totally cheese, and you just deserve to lose for doing that. Which, if it goes scouted, Terran can generally hold it off by making 1 bunker. But anyway, since that didn't happen, he does have a factory out. We'll drop a tech lab, so expect to see some Banshees coming soon. That's actually a really nice counter to the build that Protoss is doing. Protoss is going Stargate, and Banshees do really well against Stargate, especially if they have Cloak, because Protoss just won't have enough detection. Won't have any detection to speak of. So, 1 sentry is out, another Stalker will be out on the map as well, but it looks like he wants to block off this heli, and if he does, he needs to force field this ramp. Oh, Protoss, what are you doing? He lets the Hellion in the base, so the Hellion is going to scout everything that's going on. He scouts this Robo, he scouts this Stargate. So, now in this position, I guess he was going for tanks anyways. That's strange, but he definitely won't be going for Banshees now. He will instead go for Vikings, now that he's scouted that Stargate. Vikings do really well against Phoenixes, as long as you keep them close to Marines, or if you just have more Vikings than Phoenix. But, I mean, if you have enough Vikings to one-shot a Phoenix, I mean, arguably, I don't really know how that would work. But 1 Phoenix, I think, can take out 2 Vikings or something like that. Something ridiculous like that because of the shields. But, anyways, 1 Viking, I think, is out. Or is he not? I guess he can't afford that Viking yet. But Siege Tech is on the way. I guess he's... Yeah, I think he canceled that Viking for the Siege Tank research. Anyways, two of these little guys are running around the map. Phoenixes are very annoying, and it looks like they wanted to go ahead and pick off any units that were positioned at the watchtowers. Two tanks are out. This bunker is filled up, and it looks like KoKoRo wants to expand, so that's why he's throwing down his command center. Now, if he already has Marines here at this bunker, he might want to throw down a couple back in this mineral line. But as you can see here, this first SCV will get picked off, will be chased away by those Marines, but not before he can pick the mule and take it out as well. Luckily, that mule was almost done with all of its health, and immediately an engineering bay is going down. So that way... Oh, I know why he didn't have these Marines positioned back here. In case he goes for Void Rays and he charges on this little supply depot right here, you want all of your Marines in this position to shoot that away. Now this Viking will need to retreat. He's not going to be able to handle two Phoenixes. Definitely won't be able to handle two Phoenixes. So those Phoenixes are chased back. But behind this, Protoss is expanding. And as well, has he even made anything out of this Robo? Oh, he's made one Observer. Okay, good. So he's made one Observer. Which I'm not sure where that guy is positioned. Probably in the base in case KoKoRo does decide to go for Banshees. Click Banshees. Oh, the Observer sees a lot of Vikings, so he can just move out onto the map and see whenever that expansion timing does go down. So the tanks are seized out front. This is a really nice position here. Oh, this Phoenix will get picked off if one more volley does go down. Phoenix does get picked off. There are only 3 left. And with this Viking number looking to increase, it's going to be really hard for Protoss to continue this sort of Phoenix harass. He wants to pick off this Hellion, but the Vikings will be enough to chase him away. So Phoenix is returning. Man, those guys are fast. Let's look at their speed. It's 4.25. That is so fast. They're even faster than Mutalisks, which is why they do really well in PvZ, especially when Zerg has gone for Mutabuilds. +1 armor is on the way, as well as making an Immortal, in case Terran decides to push out here with some sort of tank push. But no real ground army to speak of. You can see, because he's devoted so much to this tech, he just can't really support this gateway force that he wants to make. Not until he gets these, this expansion better saturated. KoKoRo will go ahead and block off this tasteless hallway, and these Phoenixes are going to be in trouble if these Vikings scout it. He does see the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes need to keep running away, but they're going to run back. Terrible idea. It's actually going to damage 2 of the Phoenix. And there's not enough Stalkers here to really take care of these Vikings, so they can just continue to be annoying. And I think KoKoRo is going to come up here and maybe... Oh no, he's just going to land and take care of this Zealot. And that's really nice positioning, actually. The Zealot got stuck on the Xel'Naga watchtower and was not able to do any damage to these Vikings. Let's see, Charge is on the way, as well as +1 vehicle planing and +1 infantry weapons, and a Thor. So a Thor is out, is going to be out shortly, momentarily, for KoKoRo, who's continuing to supply drop. I know a lot of Terrans that do the supply drop in their build because either they just didn't, plan it out in time, or that's actually part of their build. It allows them to actually build things like barracks or more SCVs just a lot faster. You just don't have to worry about it. But a Terran should be fine here momentarily. A lot of Vikings off for Terran. It looks like he wants to come in here and harass, at least do some scouting. These Phoenixes... they're in a terrible spot. They are going to get picked off. 1 Phoenix does go down, 2 Phoenixes down, and the 3rd Phoenix goes down, and not a single Viking lost. Huge win there for KoKoRo. He's just picking apart and now planning this Protoss like at every corner. So so KoKoRoSklz just has a gateway army really with 2 Immortals. And maybe he wants to go and take out these rocks to grab a quick gold. I don't agree with that. It's really hard to hold this position with Protoss. I mean, he is far behind. He needs to do something to catch back up, but he just doesn't have enough to really hold this off. Or at the very least, he would have to hope for a really nice engagement. Templar Archives has gone down, and Snorm is being chrono boosted, I believe. Well, it was being chrono boosted. But a +2 ground armor is on the way. And we do have a couple of Templar out. Only 2 Templar. And as well, just has more gateways in general going down. So, yeah, not much else going on now. KoKoRo will take down these rocks as well. I think it's nice to clear away these rocks with his units, but it would be a lot easier for him just to take this base. It's going to be a lot harder for Terran to like run in here and snipe it and then run back out. It won't be as easy. Yeah, this is going to be really hard to hold on to. Protoss needs to bring his army up. He needs to defend this. He just needs to play very defensive in this position. I mean, if he grabs his gold and Terran grabs his gold, Protoss will be okay, because he'll be on even income with Terran. But as long as he doesn't engage Terran, I think he should be fine. Now, the Zealot will scout that the army has moved into position. KoKoRo's army has 2 Thors in it. That's going to be very, very nasty. And so, neither army can really attack the other. KoKoRo does also have 2 ghosts out on the field, and this Hellion is going to be annoying and clear the watchtowers. So the Zealot will get a couple of hits off. Be nice if he can keep this guy alive. He does get 1 snipe off by the ghost, and he will get a feedback off on that ghost, but he wasn't a full energy ghost. So now Terran's going to take this watchtower. Protoss is going to split his units, and I do not agree with this. Don't engage a Terran. Do not run into engage a Terran. Pull back, pull back. So 1 EMP is going to go off on the entire army, making it pretty much useless. And, oh my gosh, it's just a terrible engagement here for Protoss. I mean, he's going to feedback the Thor, he's going to feedback the tanks, but that was just not worth it. Now he doesn't have enough to really fend off another push. Oh, don't send in more Zealots. Don't send in more Zealots. What are you doing, buddy? Alright, so he will be able to pick off his tank. That's a nice pick right there, and now he just needs to run back. I'm not sure why he's feedbacking that Thor again. It's not going to do a lot. And these Archons are just not going to land in time, and this is just Protoss being too overzealous, way too aggressive. Oh god, that's just terrible. Gets cleaned up. So, horrible decision making there by Protoss. He just lost his entire army, and Terran has still retained a Thor. He has another on the way, and he has all these Vikings. So that they applied, they have a lot of DPS that they can dish out as well. They do surprisingly well against Zealots, especially when you have Thors in front. Or actually, just put them in front. They serve as meat shields. So yeah, these Vikings will provide as nice meat shields. Protoss just doesn't have an army to support here. He's going to lose his expansion. And now Protoss has to play defensively. But look at Terran's income. It's insane. And Terran at this point, I mean, he has to want to make more factories. And he's going to go very heavy mech, which will just destroy the army that Protoss wants to make. If he wants to make a very gateway heavy army, Thor drop coming in here are going to be very annoying. Protoss will have to warp in some Stalkers, but 1 will get picked off by the Thor, and possibly a second. This Thor will get picked up and then dropped back off. This second Stalker will go down, and now the Thor will get away scot-free. He might get this Observer. That would be nice, but the Observer is just out of the range of the Thor. Thors have a really slow movement speed, 1.88. Almost as slow as a Queen. Or maybe they're the same movement speed. I don't know. But at any rate, Protoss is in a lot of trouble. He has to do something. Terran's going to take a 4th. Because when you're this far ahead, you just get further ahead. Now, this is a terrible idea. You don't need to send your entire army to take out 4th. You just send in a couple of Zealots, and that should take care of it. I mean, Terran's just going to cancel that, or maybe he didn't in time, but still, this army's way out of position, and this other army's just going to come in and flank. So with this Marauder slow, he will not be able to get away. He will be forced to engage here, and, I mean, EMP isn't even necessary in this situation. Protoss is lost because he made really, really bad decisions. He engaged the army at really, really terrible times. All these Thors are going to live. I mean, he has 3 Thors now, a lot of Vikings, a lot of Marauders. And he's just making more Ghosts and more Vikings. So Protoss will not be able to hold this off. Protoss is dead. Very, very dead. KoKoRo will scout this expansion, send 2 Vikings to harass this mineral line, and expect a GG shortly afterwards, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing else that Protoss can do in this situation. He's going to send everything he has to try and do some damage or help out, but it just won't be enough. He might take out a Thor, but you still have the rest of this army that you have to deal with. So yeah, that does it for the game. KoKoRoSklz leaves the game. KoKoRo will win that one, and all I have to say about that game is Protoss made some really stupid engagements. If if you grab your gold, right? Even if you see that Terran's grabbed his gold, why would you engage Terran right here as a Protoss? You don't do that. You don't do that, especially when you just don't have a lot of storms. Especially when he can just grab this high ground. He has a lot of Vikings, and he can land him here and just do a lot of DPS, and he has Thors. I mean, stay defensive. Build up your army. Don't try to engage Terran. It's just not going to work. So anyways, that was the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed the cast. If you would like to see more, be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I love it when you guys do that. It makes me so happy. Just get a warm and fuzzy feeling. But that'll do it for the game. So anyways, I will see you guys next time. Peace.